Now on to even more, later breaking news. The New Orleans Saints have signed Derek Carr to a 4-year, $150 million contract with $100 million guaranteed. Why? Why did they sign a guy who over his career has had 1 playoff appearance, 0 playoff wins, a losing record statistically, and okay but not great stats? I know the media and everyone else is going to praise this move as brilliant. Yeah, you finally got a decent upgrade over Andy Dalton. But I just think that the Saints settled hard here. I mean, settled really, really hard. Sure, you're in a division that has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Tom Brady now, who won the division 8 and 9. You have the Atlanta Falcons with Desmond Ridder, who knows, and the Panthers almost won the division, but they're the Panthers. And I understand you needed a quarterback because your head coach is on the hot seat and he just needs to get some wins. But Derek Carr has been, to say the least, disappointing. I mean, in his 9 years of supposedly being a great franchise quarterback, I don't know, people say he's top 12, and I'm just like, how is he a top 12 quarterback? He hasn't won a division. He has only made the playoffs once, as mentioned, and only had like 1 great statistical year where he was considered an MVP candidate until he got injured, and he probably would have won a playoff game there, but he hasn't won a division. And when he was returned healthy after that MVP-like campaign in 2017, he didn't win the division there either, despite having basically the same team, the same great O-line, same great receivers. And he's a kind of quarterback that you need to build a great roster around to go places, not have him show up and bring you places. And if you look at the Raiders roster over the last few years, it's been pretty decent on offense. I mean, Darren Waller, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfrow, a decent O-line. They had an offensive coach. You know what Derek Carr put up in terms of numbers last year? 24 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Maybe 4,000 yards passing? I don't know. It was a really weak campaign for a guy who got Devontae Adams, who had 17 touchdown passes a few seasons ago. I mean, not touchdown passes, receiving touchdowns. And you can't do more than that. In 2016, 2015, 2017, he had Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper. They did trade Amari Cooper in 2017, didn't they? They had Latavius Murray in 2016. He was going off. And they had a great O-line. And they made the playoffs once, which he was injured for. I'll give him that. But the second season, in 2017, he played mediocre football and lost it. Yeah. 2018 was John Gruden's year, so that's fair, but for a guy who's claimed to be a franchise quarterback by everybody else, I really don't get this move. It just... The Saints are in a horrible position right now. Their cap space is at negative $16 million. Not positive, negative $16 million. They're going to have to cut players that are decent, but just they need to go because they can't. They need to save cash right now. And about the weapons thing, the Saints have Chris Olave and Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is obviously a great gadget guy, and Chris Olave looks like a burgeoning, bursting onto the scene star at receiver. However, beyond that, Michael Thomas hasn't played, 10 games in the last 3 seasons, and is expensive. He's old. He's probably going to get cut because they need money. Their great running back, Alvin Kamara, has had off-the-field issues with that, beating up that guy in the elevator. I don't know what's going to be up with him, but there are a lot of reports that he'll probably be cut. They're going to have to cut some other players on offense and defense. This team is in a horrible position right now, so you're going to give Derek Carr a decent O-line. I'm not even sure if it's decent. And Chris Olave, Taysom Hill. That's it. And I know I made fun of the division earlier, but like the Panthers started out 1-4, finished 7-10, almost won the division. Would have won the division if Sam Darnold wasn't starting that final game. Pretty much. I mean, they also upgraded a head coach. Well, Steve Wilkes was pretty good last year at 6-6. Frank Wright has won the division in Indy. He's been to the playoffs a few times. He has a winning record. He's obviously an upgrade over Matt Rule. The Panthers will be better, even if they get like a rookie quarterback. Start Sam Darnold again. I can't believe I'm saying this. Or just bring in a nice veteran like Jimmy G. I feel like Jimmy G would work there perfectly. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers supposedly are interested in Baker Mayfield. And Baker in Tampa with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and a decent O-line running back core. A good, really, really good defense. I'm just saying. I like Baker more than Derek Carr. Not as maybe a franchise guy. I don't know. Maybe I just like Baker. But like, if it's a big game, it's late in the year, and it comes down to Baker versus Derek Carr, I might pick Baker. Baker could definitely lead the Bucs team to 9 wins. And then the Falcons have Desmond Ridder. Now, Desmond Ridder was an okay rookie, but he didn't have any turnovers, or at least no interceptions, maybe fumbles. He looked pretty decent out there for a guy who came in a quarterback class that was low-key, just low-key. So, I know they say quarterbacks, it's a quarterback league, like I said earlier, and currently Derek Carr is the best quarterback in the division, but like he was supposed to be the best quarterback in the division in 2017. I guess you could argue Phillip Rivers was back then. Did he win the division? No, he played terribly. Alex Smith won the division. Yes, Alex Smith had a great year, but like the Raiders are coming off a 12-4 season. You think they could have played a little better. And so, when you're paying Derek Carr $100 million guaranteed over 4 years, and you got no cap space, you got no weapons right now, I don't understand why you'd pay him that and not just. I mean, you got a first-round pick from Sean Payton because you traded your first-round pick to the Eagles last year, but you got the Niners pick from Denver, from Miami, because you traded yours to the Eagles and Sean Payton went to Denver and you got that in return. The Saints have a first-round pick now, after not having a first-round pick, as is mentioned anyways. So why not, with your limited cap space, actually negative cap space, the fact that your roster is going to be gutted, why not just trade players away like Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, other great defensive players like Demario Davis, and then just draft a quarterback late the first round like Max Duggan or the guy out of Tennessee. He looked really good. Maybe you can finagle something to get up and get Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. Why not do that and just rebuild since you have no cap space, instead of trying to sign a guy who may take you to the playoffs and may get you a home playoff game, but isn't going to do much because the one playoff game he played, he had a chance to win and he didn't. I don't get this move by the Saints. I think it was not a great signing. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the fact that Derek Carr is no longer with the dysfunctional Las Vegas Raiders and he's actually in a semi-stable situation will help him, like it did Matt Stafford, but I don't see him being a Super Bowl quarterback. I see maybe a few playoff appearances at best, and divisional round at best, before getting the boot a few years later when the Saints draft a new quarterback. But that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments below on whether or not you thought the Saints made a good signing by signing Derek Carr. I personally don't, but if you do like that, then let me know.